Hi everyone, my name is Beatriz.
Hi.
I'm here with Maria and Sandra. We're developers and we're doing an internship at CI&T. Our presentation focuses on real stories in order to provide awareness about the experience of women in tech. In this presentation, we will briefly mention some important female names in the world of technology. Then, we will tell you our story inside the story of a woman called Ada. After that, we'll make our final remarks with our message to others in tech. As Ursula Kroeber-Le Guin said, we are volcanoes. When we women offer our experience as our truth, as human truth, all the maps change. There are new mountains. We hope that can happen today.
We will start by referring to her story. It wouldn't be fair to do a presentation about women in tech and not mention the work that has started at least 2 centuries ago by amazing women. So we want to remind everyone about Ada Lovelace, who is considered to be the world's first computer programmer. Ada was born in 1815 and died in 1852. It was her notes and work on the analytical engine that Alan Turing used as a form of inspiration for his work on the first modern computer in 1940, about 100 years later. We want also to remind Grace Hopper, who was born in 1906 and passed away in 1992. She was a respected computer scientist and one of the first computer programs to work on the Harvard Mark I. Her work led to the development of Kobold. Hedy Lamar. She was born in 1914 and died in 2000. She was awarded a patent in 1942 for her secret communication system, which was intended as a way to set radio-guided torpedoes off course during the war. But the idea eventually inspired Wi-Fi, GPS, Bluetooth technology we use nowadays. Annie Easley was born in 1933. She passed away in 2011. She was a NASA rocket scientist. When she was hired, she was one of only 4 Black employees at the lab. Some years later, she had contributed to numerous programs as a computer scientist. There are many others like them that started a path in this area. We thank them for starting and working on what we all love. A woman like many others. So we could tell you about ourselves. We could each tell you about our amazing accomplishments as women and what we did that got us into this great world of technology. But we decided to be bold and dare to entangle our stories, change a few details so that some ghosts do not harm us and we feel comfortable talking about them. This story is made of stories. With that, you can find a piece of your story here. And with this, we hope we can understand what we can do to help bring more women to tech. So here it is, our stories inside a story.
Once upon a time, a little girl was born. Parents were delighted. Grandparents were enchanted. From the moment she opened her eyes, she filled the room with light, and so her parents decided to name her after an inside joke they both had. Ada, as if to contradict the biblical concept of Adam. This is just to emphasize the respect Ada's family had for women and the work they put into humanity's development. In her household, Ada was always learning new things and helped her mom around the house, assisting her in her DIY projects and so on. Finally, it was Ada's first day at kindergarten. She was so excited to play with other children and make new friends. Her eyes sparkled with joy. After a few days, she had already grew friends with Mike, a little boy, and so they played a lot. One day, Ada and Mike were playing with dolls and having a lot of fun dressing them up, playing houses, and driving them in the pink toy car. Then, the teacher approached and asked Mike in a bossy manner, "Mike, don't you want to play with this fire truck instead?" "No, I like playing with dolls," said Mike. "But Mike, Dolls are for girls, said the teacher in a condescending way. She then took the doll from Mike's hand and gave him a fire truck toy. So Ada replied, "Then I'll play fireman with you," while putting on a fireman's helmet. By then, the teacher had left to open the classroom's door, and so they kept playing. But Ada noticed Mike was a bit gloomy, and she understood that he was sad, not just because the teacher took his doll, but because he must have been told that same sentence repeatedly before. Ada grew up into a beautiful girl. Though she didn't see herself that way, she really liked studying, though. She wasn't really good at any subject other than art class, but the teacher didn't really like her, so she nagged her and made her feel like she wasn't worthy. So Ada's self-esteem wasn't good at all. She then started peeing her bed at the age of 12 and didn't stop until she got medicated. But the story of that medical appointment isn't very pleasant. Her mom decided to get a psychiatrist to check on her and maybe medicate her so the peeing would stop, and also because of her self-esteem. Ada and her mother got into the clinic and waited for the appointment. Ada was wearing her favorite shirt with a Lauryn Hill stamp on it, with lots of colors popping out. Then she was called by the nurse, and as she got up, her mom's hand stopped holding hers, so she looked back. Her mom, still sitting, says, "Ada, you must go alone, but don't worry. The doctor will make you feel better about yourself. He's here to take care of you. It's okay." Ada got courageous and grinned. She turned around and got in. A man with a mustache and a big pair of glasses was sitting behind a huge desk. He said, "Hi, Ada. I'm a psychiatrist, and I'm here to help you out. What brought you here?" "Hi, I've been wetting my bed every night for a year now, and my mom was told by a urologist that this is an anxiety-related issue. So she brought me here to see a psychiatrist." "And why are you anxious?" "I have a really low self-esteem." And right in the middle of Ada's sentence, he interrupted her and said, "So I see. Take these pills to stop the bedwetting. And for the self-esteem, ask your mother for fashion advice. Yes, that's it. You're dressed poorly. You should dress in a more feminine way." Ada was stunned. She was containing herself not to cry. But gladly, the doctor didn't wait and screamed, "Next!" Needless to say, Ada's self-esteem was as low as ever after that appointment. But the years passed, and it would get lower every day to the point Ada only allowed herself to eat one thing a day. Anything? Only once. So she got anorexic. Ada got thinner and thinner and would pull all-nighters to get good grades too, since she was desperate to prove her worth to the world. Her mother and father got concerned and drove her to the hospital one afternoon. She got there, and the doctor said she was still an acceptable weight, but at the limit of underweight/normal weight. She had lost her period, got more body hair, and was always tired. She had dropped 20 kilos in 6 months. So she got treatment. And after a whole year dedicating herself to her health and gaining some self-trust again, she was able to focus on her future. And then she got into design school.
After majoring in design, Ada's jobs weren't related to her area. First, she worked as a marketing assistant, helping with a wide range of tasks, which included social media management, invoice issuing, and serving coffee. She liked it at first, since it was a whole new experience, but then Ada realized she needed more money to pay her rent. So, she started working as a reporting analyst on another company. She stayed for 2 years and met a lot of new people and gathered a lot of new connections. But in the end, she wasn't happy with that job. So she left again. Ada took the opportunity to earn more money as a receptionist in a local store and as a communications officer. Finally, she was earning good money and was happy with her job. Her immediate superior was very kind, her colleagues were very supportive and nice, and the work was pleasant to do and very interesting. During her working life, she eventually understood how privileged men were. She was harassed by her boss several times, and the situation escalated each time she was harassed. Although he was very friendly and a tactile person, the relationship he had with her was different. At first, it was subtle and disguised, so Ada didn't think much of it. Over time, she realized his advances were escalating and that he wouldn't do it in front of other people. It would normally happen when she was alone with him, usually in meetings or discussing the current situation of a specific project. The way he touched her and made comments about her was disgusting, enraging, and degrading. She felt like it was her fault every time it happened. Those unwanted advances were very uncomfortable and intimidating, and she knew that the law does not prohibit general simple teasing. Ada stayed silent because she didn't know what to do, as she was scared of the repercussions. No one would believe her, and she needed that salary to pay her bills. So she ended up enduring it and faced her fears. Ada talked to her friends about this situation, but some of them were actually skeptic and doubting her words, asking her if she wasn't making a big thing out of it. The guilt trip and victim blaming was hard to process, and Ada had other friends who were very supportive and helpful. They respected her boundaries and she valued them very much.
Hayden married her best friend. They enjoyed movies and games. They had a wonderful time. She was invited to study abroad, and while in her doctoral program, she found out she was pregnant. She was scared. The plan was to adopt when they both were professionally comfortable. It was not supposed to happen then, and she just couldn't believe there was already a baby inside her. The plan had to change. The doctoral program would have to wait. She returned to her country. They moved away from the city. The baby girl arrived early, and the feeling was overwhelming. You feel your heart is now out of your body. But they never planned to have only one kid, so another girl arrived. She continued working as a special education specialist, where she used new technology as a way to reach and teach different tools to different families in need. From the knowledge she gained while working with learning disabilities and the passion she had with games and technology, a reading game was started. At the same time, there was little being done with kids with math learning disabilities. Everyone kept focused on reading. So she was able to form a study group, organize and participate in several conferences, and work with specific materials she created to work with dyscalculia. Also, a demo of a math game was developed where kids could use their motor skills to learn math. A time came where she had to make some decisions that implied an uncertain future. She decided she needed to work in the tech area. As a family, everyone helped. A new era started and a lot of work had to be done. And Ada was pregnant again. With 3 kids, getting a job in the area she loved seemed far away now. She stayed at home and things appeared to never be done. It was all about do and repeat, do and repeat. She felt she was not adding value to anything. At that time, they decided to have another baby. Our third daughter needed a sibling near her age so she could share, love, and learn like her big sisters. Heather was pregnant and really, really happy about it. The whole family was happy, but it wasn't meant to be. Ada lost the baby, and Ada was sad and mad at herself. She was mad at the female doctor that had a total disregard for everything that she said in the previous 3 urgent appointments she did. Mad at the unknown for not letting her plan. For some time, after some healing, and the great support from her partner and daughters, she forgot all about having another baby. So, of course, it happened. She was pregnant. A boy arrived, once again early. Life was not boring, not monotonous, quite the opposite. During the week, Hedy needs to drag her kids out of bed, but during the weekend, they love to wake up really early. There was no time to think about anything. Finally, the opportunity to study web development arrived, and she felt great. Could she do it? Her partner and older daughters gave her a lot of strength. But how about the rest of the world? She was not young. She had 4 kids. She was starting. Who would want this? Before she got a great internship, she experienced something she thought could only happen in movies. The only good thing was that the interview she attended was done in pairs, and she had another female student with her. Ada and a friend realized they were going together to the same interview. They were excited. They got there a bit early, and they were asked to wait. They were feeling lucky to be there and with the possibility they could do the internship together. They were called to a room with big windows. Wow, great view, Ada said to break the ice. The person responsible for the interview said, Yes, it was built from the ground up. We decided how it would be. At the same time, another businessman walked in, made a private joke, and both laughed. They decided to explain how they built that business. Also added it was not an easy area. Several times they added it was not an easy area and that you need a lot of experience. They asked about the work we had done in the area. My friend started to talk and was cut off. He asked if she had something else to show without paying attention to what she was saying. Ada, realizing that she wasn't able to say anything, stepped in to also be cut off and to receive more information about how difficult this area was. 2 or 3 more questions were asked, and by the second question they realized the men weren't expecting answers. Ada and her friend were there to listen to them glorifying their work and diminishing theirs. She was speechless. Ada and her friend left and got into the same car and laughed. They couldn't believe what had happened, but it did. Apparently, this was not a woman's territory. A month went by, and she was able to start a great internship where she worked and learned a lot. That was just an awful experience that did not contribute to her feeling she was in the right area. She then decided to continue her studies in cloud computing. Ada is happy now. She found a great place to work, where she feels heard, where she is encouraged to learn more, and where mistakes are seen as ways to grow. Her colleagues ask how she is and if there's anything they can help her with. It's a free environment. It's a great place to work.
Okay. So, with this story, we would like to highlight that everyone has a story. You also have your own story, and that story might help others to be better prepared. Stories can overlap. As it was shown, a story can be partly the same as someone else's story. If you feel safe, you can tell others how it made you stronger. Education. It is so important to build better people. The more we know, the better we can deal with the unknown. Educators should understand how important their role is in the future of our kids, which leads us to other people. People in your life impact the path you choose. Surround yourself, if you can, with people that respect you and others. And in a free work environment, you will probably be able to shine, grow, be more productive, and make others shine as well.
As Eleanor Roosevelt said, our own success, to be real, must contribute to the success of others. The story we brought was made from pieces of our lives. We are fortunate to be in this great adventure, but there are others out there that might not be so lucky. We hope that by talking about the fact that there are women getting paid less than men, but doing the same job, by addressing the fact that men and other women make the path really difficult to see, that harassment still happens for some, that education shouldn't have gender, and that you can do so much more when you feel you are in a great place. We hope that this can help other women not to feel alone and fight for what they love. Thank you so much for being here and listening. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks, Priscilla.
I'm gonna stop sharing the screen.
Our biggest fan. Yes, yes, we are.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No, the
Caps
caps are
were
great. Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you for the caps.
the caps were appreciated.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. So yeah, this is the definition of teamwork
Yes.
with women.
Um, I would like to have this opportunity to thank Beatriz and Maria for this wonderful work that was able. We haven't, we don't know, it hasn't been a month since we know each other. So it will be a month on the 17th. On the 17th, yeah. So I think in just maybe 2-3 weeks, we were able to build all this to get to know each other better. And it was a great privilege to work with both of you.
Thanks, Sandra.
Likewise.
Likewise, yeah.
Yeah, likewise.
I think that what we were presenting in the final slides are actually what we think about CI&T. It's a great place to work. It has an awesome environment. It doesn't really seem to have any kind of discrimination, or at least it's quickly shut down when it happens. So far, for someone who has been here for a month, slightly, it has been a great experience.
And I don't know if we have to also talk about Maria's work in her drawings. And
She's the artist.
yes, and I'll probably share again. I'm gonna just put.
Yeah, try to share it. I was trying to, but I can't.
I'm gonna share this one.
Yeah, but the last one like really embodies the ambience and feeling we get as a team working for CI&T. So I think
this
it would
one,
be
right?
great.
Yeah, the
Yes,
Zoom
or
call.
the women in the
So
Yeah, this one.
Maria draw us. I don't know if you can find us, but we're represented there.
Yeah, we're there.
a little Easter egg.
Yeah, some Easter eggs.
Yeah.
And there's also a little, maybe no one noticed, but she put Ada with volcano ears or elf ears, but so
Yeah.
that's also. Oh, we lost Marie.
Mm. She'll be back in a second, I'm sure. Thank you, Priscilla. Yeah, we also find the illustrations absolutely gorgeous.
And Maria is able to
Maria's
do
back.
them in a fast and
I am
wonderful way.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost Maria again.
Oh no. Might be the connection.
Uh, because we have um, different age group, we are in different age groups. We decided to build our story inside this story as a way to be able to address some of the important things that we think um, women go through. At no point in this presentation, we know that some of the stories that we told or some of the episodes, we talk about how we had bad experiences with men, but in no point or no in no time in this presentation we wanted that to be a presentation against men, because there are men and women that can make our path or any path you choose difficult. So some of the episodes had men on them, but they could be women also.
Thank you, Thais.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we wanted to portray that the what's wrong in the way that women are treated in society, from sexual assault to discrimination in clothing or the likings, such as children playing with toys. All of that is wrong and affects men as well. Toxic masculinity is also a thing that comes from this patriarchal system that doesn't benefit anyone. So we wanted to, like, as the episode that Ada, when she was a child and another child was playing with dolls, but since it was a boy, it wasn't allowed to. All of this limits our lives and the way we experience the world and our lifetime. And so we wanted just to say that it is important to feel accepted, be respected, and also find people that respect your boundaries and make them grow with you. Because I think those ideals are medieval and they will be surpassed by time and effort, and we should all fight for it.
Yeah. And like we said before, the experiences that we talked to you about today were modified in order to not trigger what we went through in our lives. Although it is Ada's story, it's based on some episodes of our lives. And there are some triggers that we still didn't
Feel comfortable.
talk about
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
very.
yeah. So we had to mask them a little. And it's not about men, but the people that made us feel bad. Yeah, there were men there. There were women as well. But I think it's more about the trauma than gender. Well, I think we don't have any questions. I think we only have love, which is awesome. Thank you. This is great.
Yeah. And can we finish?
Yeah, Danielle, thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much,
Carly.
everyone.
Thank you all so much. Hope
Thank you.
you had a great time.
Thank you. Bye bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Bye bye.